Are Republicans worried that they're going to lose some ground with everyday Americans at this point?
No, we're not. We've had 4 years of this party's rule. We now understand what Marxism, what socialism looks like, and we don't want any parts of it. We want to be free. And the thing is about the Republican Party's movement, it's authentic. We believe in faith, family, free market education. It's the American way, it's American culture, and we want to defend that. We want to make sure we can live those dreams, become a more perfect union. The left and Marxists are about divisiveness. Look at everything they do. When they talk about fight, it's not fighting in terms of words and articulating their thoughts. It's getting out and blowing up things and burning down things and intimidating people. That is not what America wants. We're sick of it. We're ready to move forward. And thank goodness we now have a hope just flooding throughout our country with the President Trump and the things he's doing right now to bring us all together and make sure we have a much better future.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think about Elon Musk's visit to the Pentagon. President Trump strongly pushing back against a New York Times report that Musk was set to get a briefing on supposed war plans with China, which would have been a huge deal. Musk now vowing to find suspected leakers and prosecute them. So, Congressman, what did you make of that report? And do you think it would be appropriate for Musk to be briefed on these kinds of things? You know, obviously there's a conflict of interest going on here, potentially.
I think you have to always consider the source. New York Times, the same one that's okay with BLM, the marching, the burning down of cities across the country, about the opening of borders. Those are the same leftists that put us through the last 4 years that we've turned our backs on. So I would say consider the source. Elon Musk is there for one thing: to find fraud, waste, and make sure that Americans can get back on track. $37 trillion in debt. Many people have no idea what that really means, what it means to our kids, our future. We have people willing to now deal with that. And to have a fiscal audit for our government, which has never happened, is very healthy. It gets us back on track, and it gets us to be accountable. So I'm excited about what they're doing. And those who don't like it, or those who just are not too excited about the fact we're getting back on track right now.
And as you take a look at your screen, we're looking at Tesla protests. This is happening right now in Connecticut. So as we take a look at what's happening there on the streets of Connecticut at that Tesla dealership, I mean, look at that. It's happening, and it's happening seemingly every day, at least every week. So, man, it's been a big part of the story and the conversation this week. I also wanted to ask you about the DOE, because President Trump is taking his first step towards dismantling the Department of Education, signing that executive order this week. You know, but the president cannot completely eliminate the department without congressional approval. We always want to make that point. So what do you say to education advocates who are concerned that that move could be harmful to low-income or rural students? Because that's where people seem to see that it could.
Well, if you want to see the damage to low-income and poor students, look at what the Department of Education has done. State of California, 75% of the black boys cannot read and write. 0% proficiency in math in Baltimore black schools. Now, these folks have shown what it is to turn their back on our kids. We need to bring innovators. One thing I want to point out: Horace Mann was the founder, the father of public education. He passed away 20 years before Alexander Bell said, "Hello, Watson." Hello, Watson has turned into this device, this computer. I can go to any mountain, and because of Starlink, still compete with people, because it's innovation. It's thinking outside the box. Our educational system's still back in the 1800s, and you're starting to see, matter of fact, we're losing our kids by the droves because of what's happened the last 40 years. So I'm excited about innovation. I'm excited that we're finally putting our focus on the kids, not the adults who want to make a profit out of this industry. And those who have done very well, just know there's a new sheriff in town. The focus is to make sure our kids are doing the best in the entire world, and we're going to make sure we get that done through innovation and a good return on investment, for sure.
All right, we're watching every step of that. In Utah, Congresswoman Celeste Malloy and Congressman Mike Kennedy are the latest in a string of lawmakers on both sides of the aisle facing fiery town halls. Let's take a listen to this together.
We both chose to be here because, one, I think it's my job to stand up here and talk to you, but also I think we can do this. I think in Utah we can have tough conversations.
All right, so that comes as the DNC is targeting Republicans in competitive districts with a new billboard campaign calling them cowards for not holding in-person town halls. It's a move instructed by Republican House leadership. What is your reaction to some of these town halls you're seeing, and are you planning on holding any in-person events soon? Anything on your calendar?
Absolutely not. I've dealt with these guys before. These are the same Democrats that used to back in the 60s that put shields and hoods on their heads. There's a lot of disruption. It's not about getting anything accomplished. It's about hiding, intimidating people. And right now, what my goal is, we've had telephone town halls. There's ways to communicate with those who want to get the information.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.